spring recognition ceremony for the School of Art and Design. You could probably guess this is the largest graduation group we've had in probably 10 years. And we're using this. It's the responsibility of every graduating student to get one to replace you in the fall. I'd like to ask you at this point to make sure you turn off your cell phones. And the images you've been looking at while we've been sitting here so patiently are, of course, the images of our graduating students. And they are really spectacular, and we are very excited about the work they're doing. And it gets better every year, believe it or not. And so I'd like to give them a round of applause for their work. We have been given a limited amount of time for this ceremony, and I'd like to dismiss the ceremony at this point. We have a lot more students, so I'm going to try to get through this quickly. This ceremony is obviously for the families, and we would like to give you the opportunity to come down here and take photographs when your loved one is about ready to come across the stage. However, we don't want anybody getting hurt. So please feel free to come down here and just carefully maneuver. With so many people this time, it really is difficult, but I know you want to get as close as you can for your photographs. I now want to introduce our guest speaker. She received her BFA in Painting and Drawing from East Carolina University in 2003 and has been very busy in the last 9 years. After finishing her MFA at the University of Florida, she embarked on a successful artistic career exhibiting her paintings, drawings, and sculptures in museums and galleries across the nation. Most recently, in a solo exhibition at the Brooklyn Museum of Art. She has won numerous awards and fellowships, including the Women's Studio Workshop Fellowship and Residency in Rosendale, New York. She won the Swing Space Grant in Residency in New York City twice, the Canal Chapter Residency in New York City, the Algier Fellowship in Newark, New Jersey, the New York Foundation for the Arts Grant and Fellowship in Drawing, and she has just been awarded the Keyholder Residency at the Lower East Side Print Shop in New York City. Her artwork has appeared on CD covers, magazine covers. She has even designed limited edition toys and raised money through the Kickstarter campaign to fund a stop animation movie. Our guest speaker may look familiar because last year she was the grand prize winner of the Bravo Network TV series, A Work of Art, The Next Great Artist. Please help me welcome Kymia Nawabi.
First of all, you guys look amazing. Good afternoon, class of 2012. Graduates, undergraduates, faculty, parents, friends, and even to the spirits of those who are not physically here with us today. I'd like to take this time to thank Professor Eagle and Director Drow for inviting me to be your guest speaker for this year's School of Art and Design graduation ceremony at East Carolina University, my alma mater. Just as you all sit in those seats here today, I sat only 9 years ago in Spite Auditorium myself when I received my BFA in Drawing and Painting in 2003. So of course, when I was asked to speak to you all on such an epic day, for such an epic accomplishment each of you have made, I thought after only 9 years, at the young age of 31, and yes, 31 is still young, what do I know and what have I done to be able to bestow valuable information upon you all after what sounds like such a short amount of time graduating myself? As strange as it may seem when searching for that perfect inspiring speech to give you all today, I'm not going to speak of my years of experiences after I left college here at ECU or even graduate school at University of Florida. But rather, I couldn't help but to think all the way back to my time here at ECU, where my art life and voice truly, truly began. Thoughts of my first rushed over me. My first time living away from home, my first roommate at Green Hall, my first art school mega crush, and my first beer, believe it or not. I was a late bloomer, which quickly led to my first time being drunk. We're not going to talk about that today. I keep thinking about how ECU was my ecosystem, in a sense, that carried me through all of these learning experiences of mine. Or in some cases, disasters, like De Beer. But more importantly, how the Jenkins Fine Art Building, specifically the art school, my professors, their teachings, and my beautifully strange peers with their work were the most nourishing parts of that ecosystem, to the most important part of myself and life, which was and still is to this day, being an artist. I'm sure you all can relate. Thinking back yet again, I can remember when the art school was infested with bats. I just said bats, okay? These bats would nest in the corners of our studio ceilings and fly around like maniacs while we were trying to do our work. And I remember trying to ignore them as best as I could while making my work. And I would even be here at Mendenhall actually having a late night snack just so I could sort of, get ready for the late hours of the night to work into at the art building. And on my way back from Mendenhall to the art building, I would grab the 2 largest sticks I could find, roll up my drawings that I was working on, stick them under my armpits, and run back and forth through the hallways with these sticks, waving in front of my face back and forth as fast as I could so these bats that came to life at the end of the night, flying through the hallways, wouldn't run into me or into my face, all to make my work. So that ecosystem analogy I shared really wasn't an analogy at all. The art school truly was supporting all kinds of life at the time. So, while reminiscing and attempting to write you guys this powerful speech today, with this amazing message to try and leave you with, I had this aha moment. In connection to the overall experience I had in and out of art school, and what an adventure being an artist truly, truly is. Immediately, 2 very influential men came to mind. One, my oldest mentor, who I love very, very much, Professor Paul Hartley, who taught here at ECU for over 35 years, and a man whose work Mr. Hartley introduced me to, Joseph Campbell. Joseph Campbell was an American mythologist, philosopher, and lecturer who studied mythologies from around the world to compare their narratives to one another to unveil their parallels, all with the human experience being of his truest interest. He was also George Lucas's muse, who created Star Wars based on his writing, so I thought that was amazing. I feel it is important to share part of Campbell's writing with you all today from his non-fictional book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces. He speaks of the hero's journey in this writing, and Campbell writes, "The hero starts in the ordinary world and receives a call to enter an unusual world of strange powers and events, a call to an adventure. If the hero accepts the call to enter this strange world, the hero must face tasks and trials, often alone. At its most intense, the hero must survive a severe challenge, often with help earned along the journey. If the hero survives, he or she achieves a great gift and goal, which often results in the discovery of self-important knowledge. When the hero returns with this gift to the ordinary world, the gift is used to improve the world." What I wanted to tell you guys today, which I truly, truly believe, is that the hero is you and I. That adventure is the life of an artist through and through. That call to accept the unusual world with strange powers is you and I entering the studio, making our weird, weird work, doing our research, meeting other artists, applying to everything we can, not wasting a minute, listening to our teachers especially, taking risks, even having our first beer. It is a long journey of us finding ourselves and reaching those points of self-knowledge that Campbell speaks of. And most importantly, that gift. That gift at the end of our journey is the art we have made, where we re-enter the ordinary world, outside of ourselves, outside of the studio, and share that gift that I truly believe is used, just as Campbell says, to improve the world. Art truly, truly, truly does improve the world we live in. So, to the class of 2012, it has been an honor to be with you all here today, only 9 years later, and with all of my professors. And I feel it is appropriate to say that now that you've had about 4 years of education under your belts, especially with the visual arts, I want you to visualize a beer in my hands. And I feel it is appropriate to cheers you back where I had my first beer along with my first degree. Congratulations to you and inventors, you heroes, you adventurers, you true, true, true artists. And in the great words of Joseph Campbell, follow your bliss.
Thank you, Kymia. Now I want to introduce